Hi there, I am Gray Cause and I'd like to welcome you to the course. Thank you for joining. We start with breath because as a health and well-being coach, I often find that breath is something that is missed when we're looking at health and fitness. And many people will say, well, it's natural, we know how to breathe, so it's just automatic. And yes, that's true. That's great that it is automatic, because if it wasn't and we had to be thinking about every single breath we take, then that would be a real challenge. But there are a lot of things that we need to understand about the breath, because it's very important in terms of what goes on physiologically, chemically in the body. And there are a few misconceptions that we need to be aware of when we are beginning any exercise program, or even if we're at a very high level athlete stage. Now, the first thing to be aware of is that actually you can breathe too much air. And when I say this to people, people are often like, what do you mean you can breathe too much air? But just as you can eat too much and drink too much, you can also breathe too much air. So if you are breathing more air than you need, then what actually happens is that the blood holds on to the oxygen. So for example, if I was to say to you, sit here and take 10 big full breaths, so you really fill the chest and breathe in and take these massive big breaths, 10 of them in a row, then you may finish that practice and just say, oh, I feel a little bit lightheaded. And you'd think, oh, maybe I've got too much oxygen in the system. But that's not actually the case. It's actually the fact that you've got less oxygen. So you're delivering less oxygen to the brain, which makes you feel a little bit lightheaded. And what happens is when you breathe too much air in, you also breathe too much air out. And you get rid of too much carbon dioxide. Now, we often think of carbon dioxide as a waste gas, so we have to get rid of that CO2 and carbon dioxide. But we do need a certain level of carbon dioxide in the blood in order to tell the blood to release the oxygen from the red blood cells into the tissues, into every single cell into the body, into the organs, into the muscles. So we need to have that right balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the blood. So breathing too heavy can actually be bad for your health. Now, why this is important, obviously, when you think about coming to exercise, is we often push ourselves to the point where we feel as if we're really challenging ourselves and we're doing our cardiovascular exercise, but we end up over-breathing. We end up losing control of the breath. So actually we're not delivering oxygen as efficiently to every single cell in the body, and we're actually just slowing ourselves down. So we want to practice breathing the least amount of air that we need for what we are doing at that moment in time, breathing to our metabolic needs. So that's the starting point. And another really good place to start is just breathing in and out through the nose as much as possible. Now, there are so many benefits to breathing in and out through the nose. The nose was designed for breathing in. So if you think about it, as you breathe the air in through the nose, you're filtering the air, you're warming and filtering the air. And also, when you breathe in, you're harnessing a gas which is created in the paranasal cavities called nasal nitric oxide. Now, this gas actually, as you breathe that in, helps to open up the airways, and that helps to increase the oxygen uptake from the lungs into the blood. So that's really good. If you just breathe in through the mouth, you miss all of that out. If you breathe in through the mouth, you miss that filtering. You miss that warming, humidifying, and also killing any bacteria and viruses that you get as you might just take air in through the mouth. So there are so many benefits, as you'll see from the text here in the course, those benefits of breathing in and out through the nose. So I just wanted to give you that little heads up on why we're focusing on the breath and why it is so important to focus on the breath. So I really do hope you enjoy the course, and remember The quote that I like to always start with is that if breathing is not normalized, no other movement pattern can be. Enjoy the course.